Welcome to r/am I the a-hole, where OP embarrasses her cousin and gets them kicked out of a restaurant. And stick around after for more drama-filled Am I the a-holes, such as sisters with meth dealer boyfriends, disrespectful proposals, and freeloader siblings. Am I the a-hole for embarrassing my cousin and getting us kicked out of a restaurant? I, female, 25, don't have kids yet. My cousin Sarah, 29, has two bad-behaved kids from a previous relationship and a newborn baby with her boyfriend MJ. Last night, my mother, sister, Sarah, and I went to a sushi restaurant, and this was my first time having sushi. After we ordered, I had a hard time using the chopsticks. My cousin started obnoxiously laughing. The waiter came over and asked me if I wanted training wheels, which is a little plastic item that attaches to the chopsticks and helps you hold them in place. My cousin laughed and said, sorry about her, she constantly embarrasses herself and us. I just gave her the side eye and put the training wheels on. When it was time to order desserts, her boyfriend MJ finally joined us, claiming that he was busy. She went on to tell him how stupid and slow I was for not knowing how to use chopsticks, and how the waiters and everyone around now know that I'm an embarrassment. My mom asked her what her problem was, and she goes on a rant about how I'm so embarrassing and it's no wonder I'm jealous of her being a mother. No one wants to have kids with me. I finally had enough. I said I don't have kids because I don't want them to come out like you're rude pieces of shit. And you're calling me an embarrassment? Didn't MJ just have a baby on you with his wife? Your baby literally has a sibling a week apart from her. You probably learned how to use chopsticks by eating his wife's leftovers. Nah, I can't do this. Yo, go get this girl a coffin because she is getting buried. I guess when she was attacking me, it was fine because everyone turned on me. It got so loud that management had to get involved. Sarah was screaming and crying, MJ was yelling at me, and my mom and sister were berating me for being mean. Management brought the bill and told us to please pay it and leave. My mom paid the entire bill, but my sister said I'm an a-hole for embarrassing Sarah and getting us kicked out, and how she's probably going through postpartum depression. Now, I don't know if I went too far, seeing as she's probably going through some post-baby stress. Am I the a-hole? Maybe this is the inner man in me, but I don't care if they're going through postpartum. They have no reason to be that disrespectful for seemingly no reason. Obviously, we only get OP's perspective, but from their perspective, this attack was unwarranted. And baby girl, if you can't take it, do not dish it. From just reading this, I'm gonna go with not the asshole. Definitely let me know what you guys think. And also, while you're down there, maybe hit the subscribe button. Am I the a-hole for going to my graduation after my boyfriend's mother died? I, 26 female, didn't get to attend my high school graduation due to getting injured the day before. When it came time for my college graduation, the pandemic just started and no one got a graduation that year. What I really looked forward to was finally walking across a stage in a cap and gown after I completed my master's. My ceremony was Saturday. I've been dating my boyfriend, Josh, 27 male, for close to a year now. On Thursday, Josh's mom unexpectedly passed away. It truly came out of nowhere and devastated everyone. I've been helping Josh and his family the best I can to make preparations. The funeral's Monday. I really grappled with whether or not I should attend my graduation, but ultimately decided I should. It's one day and I figured Josh would be okay without me for a few hours. I obviously didn't expect him to come anymore, but offered the invitation. He seemed a little stunned, but said ultimately he wasn't going to be able to go, and I respected that. My parents seemed a little surprised that I still planned to go, but we went and got dinner afterwards. When I got back to Josh's that night, he's been staying with his dad. His sister, Amelia, 30 female, went off on me. She asked how I could abandon Josh at this time. Apparently, he ended up having a complete breakdown upon finding some mementos of his mother. Josh hadn't cried since he got the news, but it finally hit him that his mom was gone. He was inconsolable for over an hour. Amelia was the only one there to comfort him. I went to check on him and he didn't want to see me. I tried to explain to Amelia that this was a once-in-a-lifetime event and that I never had a graduation before. She fired back with, well, Josh has never had a parent die before. Ultimately, Amelia and Josh's dad asked me to leave as I was upsetting both of his children. Tried to contact Josh since, and he's told me he needs some space. I asked if he still wants me to come to the funeral, and he said it's completely up to me. I brought this up with a friend, and she was floored that I'd still gone to the ceremony. It seems to be the consensus with everyone that I should have skipped it. Was I wrong? Bro, what are these people smoking? Definitely not the asshole. This is something she's been looking forward to her entire life. It's not like she can completely redo it. It sucks he had the breakdown in the time span that he did. I mean, what is she supposed to do? Completely ignore everything in her life just to cater to him? Terrible that his mom died. I want to acknowledge that. But being a support system doesn't mean that you're there 24/7 and drop literally everything and anything that's important to you in order to cater to the other person. And it sounds like she's been extremely supportive up till this moment. Not the asshole, will die in this hill. I also think emotions are pretty high at this point with everybody in the family, so that's kind of why it exploded. Hopefully once emotions die down, it all gets resolved. Am I the a-hole for refusing to meet my sister's new boyfriend because he used to be a meth dealer? I, 28 male, have always been pretty close to my sister, 29 female. Due to life circumstances, we live a few towns apart. My sister recently met a man at her church who is just out of prison. He is a convicted felon who once sold meth. My sister insists that he is a reformed man and last week invited our mother and me to come out to her town and meet him. I refused, and so did our mom. I can't fully speak for our mother, but we refused because of his criminal past. This is a man who was once fully willing to destroy people's lives and possibly cause death just to make a quick, easy buck. I have absolutely no respect for such a man, and it shocks me that my sister would give such a person her love and support. My sister is furious with me and our mother. She says that her boyfriend did his time, is remorseful, and deserves a second chance. I told her that if he can maintain a clean, honest lifestyle for the next 2 years, that I will meet him and will encourage our mother to do the same. But until he can prove himself, he's basically a piece of garbage to me. Am I being too demanding and putting too long of a time limit on it? I'm gonna go with you're the asshole on this, but not only that, but you're kind of stupid. This is my reasoning. Whether he's a good person or not, this alienates you from your sister and has your sister disrespect your opinion because you've refused something important in her life. If he turns out to be a bad guy and she's with him for 2 years, odds are she has the rose-tinted glasses on. She can't see anything bad about him. And she's in the position where she's in love with a terrible guy and she already disrespects your opinion, you can bet she is in a deep hole. Whether he's actually a reformed man or he's just gonna fall back into his bad habits, you being in the picture is exponentially more beneficial than you being out of the picture and not in your sister's good graces. Stop being an asshole and just go have lunch with them. It's not like he's making you smoke meth, okay? Am I the a-hole for not making child-inclusive plans that someone in my friend group can't attend? I have a friend group of 6 friends and their significant others from high school. All of us are in our mid-20s. The only person in our friend group is Jessica, who has 2 young children and is a single mom. I'm the only person in my friend group that can host, as my husband and I own a decent-sized house and don't have anything stopping us from hosting. We all live in a rural area, so there really isn't anywhere to go for more than a quick dinner, so someone hosting is the only way we can all hang out, really. When I host, it's always later in the day, around 7 p.m.-ish. That's when most of us are off work. I also have a no children rule for my house since my dog is afraid of children and I honestly don't like kids anyways. I had a gathering last weekend, a dinner time barbecue. Everyone was invited. Same rules as normal. Jessica asked if she could bring her kids because she can't afford a babysitter and since both of her dads aren't involved at all. I said no because of my dogs and also because I don't want her baby and toddler at my house. The last time she brought them, she kept trying to push them off on other people who didn't want to hold them so she could relax. Also, her toddler puked on my $5K white couch, which I had to replace. No, she didn't pay for it. Jessica blew up on me in the group chat and said that I always exclude her. I told her I'm not excluding her, I'm excluding the kids. All kids. She's welcome to come if she finds someone to watch her kids. I also told her she's welcome to host. She kind of went on about how none of that is possible and now she isn't talking to anyone. Our group is split. Half think it's my house, my rules. One said maybe if she screwed better guys, she'd be able to have a babysitter. And 2 think that I should just let her kids come. To be honest, if it was someone else, I would maybe cave, but I don't like Jessica that much, especially since she didn't pay for my replacement couch. This whole post just gives me high school drama vibes. Like, I can't believe everybody in this post is in their 20s. If I had to put a label on it, I think I'm gonna go with not the asshole. Your house, your rules should apply pretty much no matter what the rules are. It's your space that you live in and pay for. If you want the monkeys to dance, then dance monkey dance. And if they don't like it, it, they don't have to come. Do I think they could maybe meet in the middle somewhere? Probably. But she said she doesn't like Jessica that much, so honestly, why? I want to know what your opinion is. Definitely let me know in the comments about this post and other posts. Am I the a-hole for calling my friend's proposal disrespectful? My friend, male 27, decided to propose to his girlfriend of 3 years, Dina, female 26. The two met at a bar pre-COVID and were just chatting at first, but it quickly led to more, and eventually the two of them moved in together and discussed marriage. The day of the proposal hits, and I called Stefan the next day to congratulate him, but he wasn't happy. He told me that Dina had said no. I was shocked and asked if he knew why. He said that she didn't like how he proposed. Here's the thing. I knew he was going to pop the question, but I didn't know how he was going to do it. He thought it would be romantic to propose at the place they met. Yes, a bar. Already, I could kind of see why she might not like that, but I decided to ask her privately. She confided in me that it's because she told Stefan multiple times that she didn't want to have a public proposal, and she was horrified he would do it at a bar of all places, and that she felt disrespected that he didn't accommodate that. I told Stefan that his proposal was honestly disrespectful and seriously kind of messed up, to which he told me I was being an insensitive a-hole and should be supportive as his friend rather than talking down on him. But I don't know if I'm wrong here. Absolutely not the a-hole. I don't think you can ever be the a-hole for telling somebody the truth. I'm not a huge fan of the, oh, you're my friend, so you have to be on my side, because that's just sugarcoating, that's just lying, and it helps nobody. Definitely not the a-hole. Let's read the update. I didn't know that Stefan had a Reddit, and he saw everything, all of this. He confronted me about it, and while he was pissed that I aired their dirty laundry, he did end up thanking me for posting it because it gave him a different perspective. Dina and Stefan are still living together, sort of. Dina was upset over the whole event and has spent the past couple days mostly at her parents' house and then working it out with Stefan at night. Dina said she is working on forgiving him, but mostly has been bothered that her wishes weren't met. At this time, they are not engaged, and Dina has no plans for that anytime soon. Stefan also told Dina he is planning on returning the ring he bought and will be giving her some of the money to use for whatever she wants. I think he ordered flowers to be sent to her work too, if I'm not mistaken. To be honest, wasn't really expecting that reaction from Dina. I definitely need to know what the fellow women watching this video think, but I think it's a little over the top to almost like punish him. From the sounds of it, Stefan is just really stupid, but he had good intentions. He was basically telling her, I want to live the rest of my life with you. I don't know, maybe there's something deeper. Maybe she doesn't want to get married. Maybe this kind of made her realize she doesn't actually want to be with Stefan. I'm just getting a weird vibe from that update, but definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments. Am I the a-hole for calling the cops on my neighbor after they took a package off my porch? I, 38 female, live alone in the house I grew up in. About 4 years ago, a couple about my age moved in next door, and we've pretty much been at odds since day one. There have been numerous times and issues that we've disagreed on. I have 3 cats that I sometimes let out into my backyard. My neighbors have a dog that would jump the 5-foot chain link fence separating our yards to chase my cats. I told my neighbors if I caught their dog doing it again, I would call the cops. They actually had the audacity to ask if I would be willing to split the cost of a taller privacy fence instead of, you know, training your dog not to jump the fence. Obviously, I refused as I wasn't the one causing the problem, and the fence is technically on their property anyways. They ended up putting in a taller fence. Then they asked me to split the cost of taking down an ash tree that was on their property. It had become infested with some bug that killed the tree, and dead limbs were falling on their driveway. They had the city come out, and the survey guy said the tree was actually about 10% on my property. I told them the tree was theirs, and if they want it down, they'll have to pay for it because I don't have a problem with it. They've also thrown some loud late-night parties that included bonfires and loud music that I had to call the cops for as well. I'm currently out of town visiting family for a couple of weeks. I have a friend who comes over to my house every day to check on my cats and check for mail and packages. I have medication for my cats that are delivered regularly. I got a notification the other day that some packages were delivered, so I texted my friend to let them know. But before my friend could get there, I got a notification from my Ring doorbell. I pulled up the live feed and saw my neighbor on my patio. I asked him what he was doing, and he said a package of theirs got delivered to my house by mistake, so he was just grabbing it. I told him to leave and that my friend would bring over his package when she comes over. He said he's not waiting for that and tried to leave. I told him if he takes a package from my porch, I'm calling the cops. He shoved the package in front of the camera and said, "That's my name and address, OP. I'm taking my package. Then he walked away. So I called the police and told them that he stole a package from me and I have video proof. They said they would investigate. When my friend got there a little later, the police were talking to my neighbors. The police must have left while she was checking on my cats because when she went to leave, it was just my neighbors outside. The husband yelled at her to tell me that I'm a huge a-hole and that I need to take the police off speed dial and let them deal with more important instead of using them as my own personal problem-solving service. I can't believe people go through the process of typing a whole 5-paragraph MLA formatted, sources cited Reddit post of them being a complete and utter a-hole and think, yeah, people will probably agree with me. Like, what? Don't get me wrong. Don't think they should have done anything about the fence or the tree. But the packages, bro, you're just looking to cause problems. Especially at the end, I think the husband has a point. There's probably way more important things for cops to be doing than that. Absolutely the a-hole, no doubt in my mind. Am I the a-hole for never helping my older siblings out and letting my brother and his kids be homeless? I am the youngest of 4 siblings by far. I am 22 female. My siblings are 30 female, 32 male, 33 male. Between the 3 of them, they have a combined 14 children. Speaking of that, this video is sponsored by Trojan. Please wear a condom. We are overpopulated. None of them went to college and they all work lower paying entry-level jobs. I graduated last year. I started college and high school and I work as a nurse. My husband works on planes. Our household income is about $200,000 and an average where we live is about $80,000, I think. This is all relevant. My parents like to host big family functions for every holiday and they bring the whole family together. Ever since I was a teenager, my siblings have always asked me for favors, mostly to babysit. I did it for a while when I was around 16, but quickly realized they didn't appreciate anything and there was nothing in it for me, so I stopped. For the past 6 years, I've had the don't ask me for anything stance, since my siblings are the type to ask for favors but never offer to help when you need it. They always borrow money from our parents but never pay it back. My oldest brother is getting evicted and asked if him and his girlfriend and their 4 kids could stay with me and my husband. My husband and I own a 4-bed, 2-bath home. I told them no because they have a habit of settling in somewhere and not paying rent and refusing to leave. They also let their 4 kids absolutely destroy every rental they live in, coloring on the walls, holes in the walls, etc. My brother and his girlfriend are pissed at me. They blew up at us at my mother's birthday party last week. They're going to have to stay at a shelter and they're saying it's my fault, but I think it's their own lack of responsibility. My other 2 siblings chimed in agreeing with my brother and they think I'm a sucky a-hole. I think that my siblings suck and I don't want my house getting torn up by their heathens. I know that if I let them move in, I'd end up having to evict them and they wouldn't pay for anything at all. I think it's not fair that they always ask me for money because I make more money than they do and they treat my husband and I like we're some kind of upper class snobs because we worked hard and made good choices in life to be able to buy a house early. Definitely not the asshole. I'm not a huge fan of like, family's family, you gotta blah, 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 blah. Like, bro, be sympathetic, try to help them as much as you can, but as much as you're comfortable with is the most important thing. Maybe offer them some financial help them pay for rent, but once again, your house, your rules. If you're not comfortable with it, there's no way you can be an a-hole. There is an update on this. It's very small, but it's kind of funny. I'm offering to pay for everyone to get a vasectomy/tubes tied this Christmas and giving my brother enough money to cover the red roof in for a week. That's it. All I'm doing for anyone, and they better not call me ever because I'm not answering. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband the nanny is in charge? My husband and I have 3 kids. My husband has a high-profile job, and it means he's gone often. I work a regular 9 to 5. We originally used daycare for our oldest, but my middle was born right when the pandemic began, so we hired a nanny. She originally worked when I did. But the time the baby came around, I was very overwhelmed with doing bath and bedtime on my own, on top of developing postpartum depression. After a breakdown, we spoke with the nanny and she agreed to adjust her hours, so she's helping me with dinner, bath, and bed. We've gotten close over the past 6 months doing this. In many ways, she's become like a third parent to the kids. She's so good with them. We've created a routine that works well. I tend to the baby during bath and bed. She handles the older 2. It's a nice rhythm and my mental health has gotten so much better. My husband isn't traveling all the time, but most nights he isn't even home for dinner and bed. He will help me weekends when he's home. But because he's gone so often, he's reluctant reluctant to be firm with the kids. There are times he's come home when our nanny is there. He tries to help her with bath and bed, but allows the boys to roughhouse, lets them break the routine, and it seriously throws them off and delays bedtime. My nanny shared with me she feels awkward. Obviously, she doesn't want to undermine her employer, but it just makes her job harder. But my husband also doesn't want her to go home when he arrives, as he says he can't handle it alone. I told him if that's the case, then he needs to defer to the nanny and follow her lead. She knows our boys best, and she has to deal with the aftermath when they don't listen and give her a hard time. My husband feels like she's just an employee and he's the dad. His salary does pay for her. However, I don't feel this is fair to her. I told him he either follows her lead for bed and bath, or he doesn't help at all. He told me I'm allowing the nanny to take over and replace him. I mean, didn't you hire the nanny to replace what you're supposed to do as a parent? You're busy, you have a high demand job, totally understand that, but if you want to outsource it, why would your input be more important than theirs? Definitely not the a-hole. This also has like old-timey vibes where like the women are just supposed to listen to the man and blah, blah, blah. I don't like that either. The whole I'm the fun dad who just riles up the kids and then my wife and the nanny and the women will deal with it rubs me the wrong way, bro. I say either suck it up and take the nanny's lead or figure out how to deal with it yourself. That wraps it up for me, guys. Drop your opinions in the comments, hit the subscribe button, and go watch another one of my videos if you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next week.